Hello and welcome back to All Things Money. I'm your host, David Blain. Thank you for joining us today. If you missed the last segment, we were talking about John Paulson and his gold fund, and once again warning investors out there about hedge funds. They're not a panacea for making money all the time. If you missed that segment, head on over to the website, dlblain.com, and download the archive. We'll have it posted there in a week or two. I wanted to touch base on something today that is near and dear to us. You know, my firm, we're a fee-only advisor. We're not affiliated with a brokerage firm. We don't sell any mutual funds. We don't sell annuities. We don't sell insurance, any of those. And so if you're a regular listener to the show, you know, I'm fairly regularly cautioning people about, you know, annuities and, you know, commission-type products. It's not, I just don't believe in them. I think there are much better ways to do. And yet, out there in the world today, the way we do business, a fee-only advisor, registered with the National Association of Personal Financial Advisors, which is the organization that owns the trademark of fee-only when related to financial advisors. There's only maybe 12 or 1,500 of us in the whole country that have that qualify to become a member, and it has various qualifications. First and foremost, you can't even have a security license. It's not that you say, well, we're just not going to sell anything. You can't even have a securities license that allows you to earn a commission from the sale of a product or insurance or annuity or something like that. We have what's called a Series 65, which is a registered investment advisor registration. Anyway, not to get off on that. The other thing, we have to submit our work for peer review. We have to take an actual plan, financial plan, comprehensive plan, where we look at investments, insurance, estate planning, taxes, retirement planning, and we have to actually submit that for peer review to be accepted in the organization. And so this is this sort of high quality type of advice that we deliver to our firm. Everyone in our firm is credentialed. I have the Chartered Financial Analyst Charter, CFA. Other advisors in my firm, we have CPAs, we have other CFAs, CFPs, we have enrolled agents, credentialed professional advisors that do not sell products. And in the financial world, we are sort of oddities. And so what I want to talk about here is when you're looking to hire an advisor, my recommendation is find somebody that's sort of odd, that doesn't look like everybody else. You know, when I tell someone what I do, they say, oh, well, you're like XYZ firm or, you know, ABC firm. Oh, you do what my brother-in-law does or whatever. Well, no, we don't. You know, the more than likely, they are not a fee-only advisor part of NAPFA. And so when you're looking for an advisor, make sure that you understand what you're looking at. And just to kind of tell you a little story, someone brought in a portfolio from a well-known national independent brokerage firm, and this woman owned a portfolio of actively managed mutual funds that had an expense ratio average of 1.5%. Now, we charge a fee for what we do. We get paid for what we do, but the investments we use have an average expense ratio of about 0.1%. 0.1 versus the average actively managed mutual fund of 1.5%. Now, this particular advisor was charging a wrap fee. Now, I know they're probably somewhere hidden, somewhere some good wrap fee, but this particular one was another 1.75%. These wrap fees, if you hear the word wrap fee, kind of like annuity, I would be very skeptical of it. So this was another 1.75%. So that's 3.25%. Assuming you have inflation, historical average annual inflation of 3%, this woman needed to earn 6.25% per year just to keep up with inflation. Now, I realize inflation in the past couple of years, the published number has not been that high, but historically, you know, she needed to earn 5 or 6% just to keep up with inflation. And so that's just sort of normal, is you've got these big fund companies, you know, American funds and, you know, these different marketing type mutual fund companies that are out there selling all these products. and they're charged heavily. I mean, I had somebody come in the other day that, you know, we told them what we were going to charge them, and they said, well, you know, I'm not paying anything right now. And that should be a crime if you have an advisor and you do not know what you're paying. So we said, well, hey, do you mind me looking at your statement? And right there in the statement, fortunately, it was a statement that was fairly detailed that had some information about the investments. It was I showed them that, you know, the expense ratio of the funds that they were invested in was like, you know, 1.25%, and then they had this wrap fee, and then they also had some investments that they were still paying commission, 5.75% commission. Now, you know, I know people say, oh, well, commissions are right for certain people, whatever. But the point is that this person had no idea, and that is just wrong. And when you pay a commission, there's no fiduciary relationship created between you and the person that sold it. As an investment advisor like we are, there's a fiduciary relationship. What does that mean? It means that we have not just an obligation or a moral obligation, we have the legal duty to put your interests above our own. And so if we recommend something for you, we cannot take into consideration our needs whatsoever. On the brokerage side of things, an investment just has to be suitable. And so what that means is that at the time, if it was suitable, now as soon as you walk out the door the next day, if it's no longer suitable, well, that's too bad. There's not the same standard of care, and people don't fully understand that. So when you're looking out there for an advisor, you know, what I'm suggesting is you look for a fee-only advisor. Obviously, call us if you would like us to look at it, but go to a website like NAPFA.org and search for a fee-only advisor. Do some research and figure out how the industry works, how the industry is compensated. You know, what does it mean to be, you know, a client of Merrill Lynch? What does it mean to be a client of LPL? You know, what does it mean to be a client of a truly independent fee-only, advisor? And get educated. Find out what you're actually paying. You know, make your advisor sit down with you and go through and add up all the costs that you're paying. And only then can you make a good decision if it's worth it. You know, in our firm, we think it's more than worth it. The majority of the time, I had somebody come in the other day, saved them about $50,000, $60,000 worth of tax. I mean, that's worth 15, 20 years worth of fees that they'll pay us. Well, anyway, that's all the time we have for the show today. I hope that you will join us again the same time and the same stations. For All Things Money, I'm your host, David Blain.
The proceeding was a paid program. The opinions expressed are not necessarily those of WNBU and Inner Banks Media.